Welcome to the Healthy Hustling Podcast. I am Dr. Eric Broadworth, your host, and today I've got with me Russell Mock. He is the owner of Muskegon CrossFit and also the founder of the Fresh Coast Fitness Festival, which takes place every year. We're going on year 9,
This
right?
will be year 10.
Year 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
A decade.
Website was saying 9.
Not updated yet.
Well, year 10, that's crazy. Time flies. But Russell's the owner of Muskegon CrossFit. He is one of, I would say, like the leaders in West Michigan when it comes to the CrossFit scene and everything like that. And it is a pleasure to have him on here and talk about health, fitness, wellness, all of those things. I know you're really passionate about that, obviously in your position and everything. But let's talk a little bit about how did you end up opening up Muskegon CrossFit? How did that start?
So we've been an affiliate for 12 years, and I went to Western Michigan, got my exercise science degree, and was about to graduate and was like, what am I going to do with this? Like, didn't have my athletic trainer, didn't really know a route, and I was actually one of those people that were like anti-CrossFit, didn't know anything about it, but was also like, it's a cult. So, but one of my buddies dragged me into a workout once, and I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. And then
Where was your first workout?
I never actually even went to an affiliate at Western. We just started doing CrossFit style workouts at the rec center and then out of the back of my truck. And then I got hooked, and then I moved home and decided to open a gym.
Nice. So did you just go to like CrossFit.com and find workouts there?
Yeah, in the early days, if you're old school, you'd know like Outlaw was a big programmer back in the day. So yeah, that and just, Rich Froning, it was like peak CrossFit. So like the games were all getting,
bigger,
lots of love, and yeah.
That's awesome. I did not know that. So then you're doing these workouts with your buddy on your own. You're thinking, hey, what am I going to do with life? And maybe I get into this CrossFit realm because it's kind of fun. Did you know you wanted to set one up then in Muskegon? How long did that take to transpire?
So I was still at Western, and then I took the leap and opened up a fireworks shop over 4th of July weekend back in Muskegon, made my initial money to be able to open up a very small gym and with a partner, and moved back home, and then there's no CrossFit in Muskegon. So yeah. I was like, if there's ever an opportunity, go for it. So yeah, that's kind of crazy, humble beginnings, but yeah.
That's awesome. So, and then you're in a new location now. Was your original location that you moved from 2 years ago?
So we're in our third location.
Third location.
Yeah. It was a very small, like 2 or 3 stall garage.
Nice.
And then we got a little bigger, and then now we're at our final resting place. So hopefully.
I think that's awesome. Just being a small business owner and owning Fuel Health and Wellness and where that came from. I mean, I started with this business with just a treatment table in my car, doing mobile, going to people's
traveling
homes.
To gyms and homes.
Yeah. And you just bootstrap it and you figure it out. And just starting like that though, it's adventurous, it's fun, there's a lot of risk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of risk. A lot of people, don't have the
shady
guts to. Yeah, right? Like, well, so I remember, when I made the connection here too with treating at 8th Day Gym, I started treating people out of the kids' room where they had the daycare basically. Mm-hmm. And there's like a couch there. There's a little kids like play kitchenette. There's toys. You go in, there's like goldfish on the floor, and I'm taking people in this room and like trying to provide healthcare and like charge a pretty good amount of money for the services and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, we gotta fix this up a little bit. And we did, but like those are the beginnings. And like some of those people too, who I still see and I still treat and work with those people who were with me from the beginning. I'm sure you have the same thing. And it's like, those are the OGs, right?
If the product is good enough, it doesn't matter what it looks like, I mean, most CrossFit gyms have humble beginnings. 8th Day had humble beginnings.
Oh, yeah.
We had very humble beginnings. And then same thing with our event, Fresh Coast. It was a 1-day, 20-team event. And then every year I just kind of roll things back into it. So reinvest into your business. And then people like that journey too. They like to follow along. You know?
So let's talk about Fresh Coast, because that is one of the premier fitness events, festivals, CrossFit competitions, whatever you want to call it, in Michigan. Probably the Midwest. I mean, you've grown this thing huge. How did it start out? How did you get the idea? Tell us about that.
So again, problem solving. We had a very, very small gym. We're talking like 1,500 square feet. And I had been going to local competitions, and Joe's a big inspiration here at 8th Day, but I was having a blast. I wanted to do one, but we only have, a couple rig spots, not very much room. So what do we have? We have a beach, and it's down the street. And I'm like, well, that's a pretty cool venue. No one else is doing that. In Miami, they have Wadapalooza.
Yep.
So I kind of took some inspiration from that. And I'm like, what would make people want to come to our spot to do a competition? And so, yeah, we just decided to put it together. I sent a flyer out to every CrossFit gym in the state of Michigan and said, hey, come to the beach, we're doing a competition. And I got 20 teams to show up, so the first year.
Off of flyers?
Flyers, word of mouth, yeah. And pretty tight with all like the West Michigan gyms.
And that was 20...
It was the year 2016.
2016. Yeah. Okay, so that was 2016. Do you remember any of the workouts from that year?
Oh, I have some fond memories and some huge mistakes from that year.
So let's talk about that. What was the biggest mistake you made? Let's talk about that. What was the biggest thing you're like, wow, I can't believe I did that?
There were a lot, and there's been a lot across the 10 years.
Well, you live and learn.
Yeah, exactly. There was one year, and it was probably one of the first ones, but I didn't have trophies officially made up until the day of, and I leaned on my brother-in-law to handcraft these. They turned out great. They were like rings, and we painted them gold and silver and stuff. But just some procrastination issues, like waiting till the last minute to do something, and just leaning on my support group. And that's really where it comes together because of our community. We lean on probably 80% of our volunteers, 90% of our volunteers are people from my gym. And then, they come together and make us look good, essentially.
That's awesome. What has been the biggest hurdle for this competition? Because you're on a public beach. You have to drag. If you haven't been to Fresh Coast, this competition, you need to check it out. Whether you are big into CrossFit or not, I highly recommend check it out. It is such a cool event that just every year on the beach, on Lake Michigan, you got the rigs out there, you've got all this equipment out there. And I'm impressed every year with how, things are just rolling. It's on time. But what would you say is the biggest hurdle with this whole competition?
The infrastructure is probably the biggest issue. I want to see it grow and grow and grow, and just trying to stay within our means. So leaning on people. One of our members, he has an excavating company, and if he wasn't there to help, there's no way we get that 90 feet of rig out to the beach. Put up all the fencing and stuff. So yeah, the infrastructure part of it is quite the task to get all that put together in a weekend and then tear it all down and put it back away for the year.
How long does it take you to set all that up?
Essentially on Friday we set the majority of it up because we only get it for the weekend, from the beach, from the city. So yeah, I just have an awesome team of people that, like I said, they make it happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is really incredible because every year there's a little bit more, I would say, equipment. This year you're doing a qualifier, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you want to tell people a little bit about that, especially if you're watching this right now? We're recording, it's December 31st. tell us a little bit about the qualifier. If people want to do this competition, how do they do it?
Yeah, it's so we usually sell out on the opening day, so we decided to make it possible for people to qualify and not have to worry about registration day. So we're qualifying 80 of the 210 spots. So people between January 16th and 27th, there's 4 workouts. They do those workouts, record them, submit them, and
How do they submit them? Where at?
they're through our registration website. It's
Okay.
Competition Corner, and we'll judge them, make sure they're all legit, and then the top 15 teams in each division, and then top 5 in the Masters divisions will earn their invite, and then they'll get an invite, and then they can register, not having to worry about public registration.
Okay, that's awesome. So definitely, when are those workouts released?
January 16th.
January
And
16th.
then you have 2 weeks, so 2 weekends to get them done.
Cool.
And you can do them completely like on your own. Your partner can do it at another gym or whatever.
Sweet. So if you want to be a part of Fresh Coast, definitely do the qualifier. Check that out. As far as those workouts, January 16th. And we'll be coming out. I'll be launching this episode next week. So people have time,
Yep.
if you're listening, to be able to do that. And if not, then you can try to get a spot on the launch date in
Which will be mid-February, yep.
Awesome. Any favorite moments from Fresh Coast that, like, do you have a favorite moment?
Just seeing our community come together to pull it off, the gym community. It's like a long workout is our kind of joke. It's a weekend long workout, and I have people show up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some even on Monday to help put it all away. And we're exhausted and a little bit ornery at the end, but that wears off afterward, and then people sign back up to help again the next year. And then my favorite moment probably every year is I'm sorry if I got emotional last year, but watching the last like couple heats of the day on the last day, oh man, it's like, just see like that moment where you're like, oh, we pulled it off again, like
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah, well, and like you always run up against weather. You're outside. It's a huge competition.
Time
and
is
every
hard because it's in
time,
the sand, so everything's slower.
Yeah, no, but every year, I mean, you guys have continued to fine tune and really just make this an incredible event. And I'm grateful to be a part of it and help just be a sponsor and vendor. We have a blast every year. Like you said, I'm not even there I would say as long as you guys, but I'm exhausted by the end.
Yeah.
Just like,
And we have a bunch of
lot.
awesome sponsors like yourself that, I mean, this will be your like 4th or 5th year probably sponsoring it. I mean, you've been
I
coming in
think
a
the
couple years
first
now.
year was 21, I
yeah.
want to
So,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be a vendor or a sponsor of our event is way harder than just rolling up to a gym too, because you've got to truck your stuff through the sand. So you have to want to be there.
Yeah, you gotta show up early as a vendor because like everyone's 7 a.m.
Yeah.
People are filling in, so you gotta get your stuff there, get it all set up, and make sure you're ready to go as people start filling in. Plus, you need a parking spot, so those spots
Yeah,
fill up
for sure.
fast. Going into your own just personal fitness journey and outlook, let's just touch on that a little bit. You know, I'm a big believer of, well, not necessarily like a believer, but like my goal is to inspire people to live healthier, active, pain-free lives. We're only getting sicker, only getting more like overweight and fatter as a country and everything like that. Like our health is literally going in the wrong direction. Does that inspire you at all, I guess, as a gym owner? You know, what are some of your thoughts there?
So my story is that I was a husky kid, I like to say. So growing up, I dabbled with some sports, but never really excelled. And then I actually fell in love with the actual training, not like sports or whatever. So that's what led me to exercise science as a degree. And yeah, like I'm doing this to help people find something that they can enjoy, and then something that's going to get them results. So, and that's what we try to do every day is just make it a fun environment for people to show up to. Because if you're not having fun, if you're not doing it with people you enjoy, then you're less likely to stick to it. And And then that's where Fresh Coast comes in too, is giving people something to train for. So I'm a big believer in signing up for something scary or something hard, because if you do that, and it's around New Year's right now, so I highly suggest find something, put it on your calendar, because once you do that, you're going to work towards it, and it makes it easier to show up to the gym when there's
you have a deadline looming, or a deadline or a goal. Yeah, I'm a big believer of absolutely doing hard things, doing things that make you uncomfortable. You really only grow as a human through difficult and challenging times. No one really grows being nice and warm and comfy and cozy. I mean, and that's what makes life, to me, like enjoyable. It's like overcoming, like we got through another thing of Fresh Coast, right? Or, you know, whether it's I did this physically, mentally, you know, personally, whatever it is, like overcoming those hard things is only makes you a stronger, more resilient person, and makes life just those good times better, I would say.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I really like about CrossFit, and you hit on this a little bit before, but like you weren't a big CrossFit believer when CrossFit first came out and you first heard of it. I was in the same boat. I remember, so I was in grad school from 2011 to 2014, and CrossFit was getting bigger. And the majority of my classmates in physical therapy school and the program was like, CrossFit's bad for you. You're going to hurt your joints. And how stupid is it that you're doing these Oli lifts and you're doing as many of them as possible, right? They're not meant for that. And we, you know, laughed at it, ridiculed it, and was just like, well, we'll see you for your injuries. But my viewpoint on that has really completely changed and shifted. Started doing just some of the workouts, got hooked, saw that it was fun. I love the environment, and being around other like-minded people. And I think a big part of it is, can you get injured? Yeah, you can get injured. You can get injured doing anything. You get injured walking down the sidewalk. And what's going to get you moving and keep you moving, keep you coming back every day, every week? And I think a big part of it with any gym, though, and people that you're working with, is making sure that you have a good plan in place, like recognizing, okay, if you are dealing with an injury, how do we modify the workout? What do we do to tweak it? You know, no pain, no gain isn't always a good thing, and understanding that. What's your thoughts and approach there with those kind of people who are hesitant maybe because they're like, I don't want to get hurt. I hear about all these people who are, you know, getting hurt.
I use my mom as an example. She's 64, retired, and she comes to our noon class 3 days a week. So if she can do it, I think anyone can do it. And that's kind of, as a coach and owner, like I think about that when I do have someone that's maybe a little older or whatever come in. I gotta put myself in their shoes or their kids' shoes. Like that's someone's mom or dad. I want to take care of them like they're my mom and dad. Like I would want my parents to be taken care of. So yeah, scaling and then setting that environment up so that they feel like they're winning and that they're fitting in, because that can be hard for people if they don't feel like they're doing as much as others are doing. So, but yeah, no, we're just moving. I mean, we do it in funky ways sometimes and whatnot, but everything's scalable. Everything has a next progression, next step, and that's what it's all about, is just starting where you're at.
So can someone come in with no experience with even lifting a barbell into, would you say, into your class and be able to, you know, get a good workout?
And if we don't use the barbell that day, that's fine. We can use dumbbells, we can use a med ball, things like that. I've had countless people come in that have never even ran a mile, and now I have a woman that never ran a mile. She ran a mile in a class, then she ran a 5K in a class, and she just did like a half marathon.
Nice.
And she's like in her late 50s. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's so cool.
That's really cool. That's awesome. I love those stories of people who, they pick something up later, they've never done it, but again, doing hard things. They ran their first mile. Okay, check that off the list. What's the next hard thing?
Exactly.
5K, check that off the list.
Yep.
What's the next thing? I don't know, sign up for a competition or another race or get a better time. and just keep checking those little things off the list. Yeah, get up early. Try the cold plunge, which we were gonna do this episode too, and like start it in a cold plunge. Didn't quite work out. Just
we're gonna put something together though where we utilize it.
Love it. Yeah, and then what's your thoughts on cold plunges? Are you still doing them daily?
I do. I have one set up in my garage and a sauna. So. Anything to help recover from our hard workouts, But no, it's not just, there's the physical side, but then there's the mental side of that too. Just like a hard workout, getting in that cold plunge is super hard at first. Once you get in it, you realize, oh, I can do this. And then, the benefits stack.
I love the mental benefits more so for a cold plunge personally when I've done it. You feel it sucks every time getting in. A lot of times when I'll do it and get into it, it'll be first thing in the morning to basically jolt you awake. And there's something about it being like winter, Michigan, it's dark, and I'm getting in cold water outside. It is the last thing that I want to do when I get out of bed. But then every time I do it though, like I never regret it. When I get out, I'm like, I'm cold, but I'm like awake. I'm ready to tackle the day. And I just did like the most difficult thing I'm probably going to do all day. I already did, knocked that out, and now the rest of the day is a little bit easier, honestly.
For sure, just like a workout.
Just like a workout. What's your vision for the future of Muskegon CrossFit?
We're in the middle of doing a little expansion, some open gym, just a little bit larger footprint. And then just adding a couple different modalities to make it a fully encompassing, health center, I guess. But yeah, just continuing changing the lives that we can, the people that walk in our doors, and then just see it through and do our part in making the world a little fitter.
Nice, I love it. Where can people? So if someone wants to give your gym a try and try a class, what's the best way for them to sign up, get a hold of you, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, just heading over to the website, muskegoncrossfit.com. Check us out on Instagram, same thing. And then, if they want to throw their hat in the ring and do a little working out on the beach, then same thing, Fresh Coast Fitness Festival or freshcoastgames.com. I'll get that a little more updated.
I will be putting a link to that too. If you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, it'll be in the description. So check out those links and be sure to look for any updates, especially for the Fresh Coast stuff, because that will fill up, ASAP. So if you want to do it and do hard things in 2025, you need to be prepared and be on it. That's awesome. Is there anything else that you're promoting, want to promote right now? Anything that we want to tell everyone?
No, nothing right now. Just tell people to make a plan for 2025, do hard things, and just get out of your comfort zone, and that's how you grow. So
I'm gonna add on to that a little bit because I love that. I love doing the hard things, and making plans. Not only make the plan, write the plan down. You'll be surprised as to what you can accomplish when you take it and write it down. And maybe you never look at it again, but just simply write down what the plan is, the goal is, and don't pick a ton of them. Pick like one thing, 3 things. For sure, no more than 7, but like max of 7, but ideally like 3 is a perfect number, and just tackle those things and you'll be surprised as to what you can accomplish. I'm a big believer in that. Do you have any New Year's resolutions here?
Right now, I haven't. I'm addicted to Zevia. So I'm going to try to cut my Zevia intake down.
I like
I'm kind of
Zevia.
to 1 can
What's your
a day.
favorite Zevia?
Black cherry, probably. Like black cherry cola or something.
Okay. I just had the black cherry cola recently. I think I did. That one's decent. I got the variety pack. My favorite is either the creamy root beer or the cream soda. I really like
Cream
that.
soda's pretty good.
Yeah, and I like that it's caffeine free too.
If you're a soda drinker, replace it with Zevia.
Yeah, Zevia is good stuff. Yeah, I 100% can get on board with that. My New Year's resolution, and anyone watching this, I want you to hold me accountable.
Uh-oh.
So I'm giving to anyone who watches this, hold me accountable. My goal is to show up 10 minutes early to everything.
Oh man, my fiance would love it if I set that goal.
See, my goal last year was to be on time, which I feel like struggled with things. So now my goal is to be 10 minutes early to everything. So that way I'm not rushing, because I get a million things going on, and I feel like being 10 minutes early will give me time to enter into, no matter what it is I'm doing, whether, it's workout, work, whatever, like get there calmly, be set up, ready to go, in the zone. So
maybe we can be accountability buddies.
Hey, I'm down. One of the fast things I've done for accountability was sometimes I'm not the greatest at putting things away. So I told my team, $20 to them if they catch me not putting things away. So very quickly I started putting things away.
Yeah, money talks.
Money talks, yeah. And my wife, so Jess, she will not be happy with me if I am losing a ton of $20 bills
Hundreds of dollars a day.
Yeah, because I'm not putting things away. So that seemed to work. Do the same thing here with showing up early. So if you want an accountability partner, I'm here for you for that.
Sweet, dude.
Sweet. Well, thanks so much for coming on this. It's been fun, really good chat. I appreciate you coming out here. Appreciate everything that you're doing for the CrossFit and fitness community and just the health of our communities in West Michigan. Again, if you are watching this, be sure to check out a class if you're in the area in Muskegon, and also head out to the beach in July. It is a great time. I love it every year. Looking forward to it this year.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, right on.